once one has had experiences of a higher nature, say of awareness of the teacher within, how necessary is it to have a physical teacher? You see, your aim is to be real, as authentic as possible, and to have the strength and wisdom needed to guide others through what may be ahead of us. It is certainly necessary for all of us, at first, to have teachers, guides, elders, spiritual directors, whatever names you want to give it. In Russia, they're called tsarets, an ancient tradition where, of course, one who has gone before and has experiential wisdom guides us along the way, where there are so many rabbit holes, so many false turns and dead ends, and a marketplace like never before, not to speak of religion in its twisted, fragmented insanity in our day. Hard to find our way into something that is not just good, but the real thing, where inner transformation, awakening to our true self, transparency to the divine, encounter with the holy, becoming a transmitter of that holiness, acquiring the Holy Spirit, as Saint Seraphim of Sarov says in 19th century Russia. Getting to that place requires passing the torch down among those who know. And they can be of all kinds of traditions and non-traditions, leading to our eventual destiny, which is indeed to encounter the teacher within, who is not merely some higher version of ourselves, some purified version, but a purification of the heart, of our inner being, so that we can have direct inspiration from Spirit. This is theosis in ancient Eastern Christianity, divinization, if you will, the activation of image of God within. So many, countless, infinite ways to go wrong, but eventually through trial and error, through suffering, through experience, through experiences, one is meant to come to that point where communion and inspiration is direct. And then there is no longer need of a physical teacher. And the physical teachers who would claim that there is a continued need at that point end up being cult-like creatures. Our birthright, our ultimate purpose, is that each of us, beyond Jung's individuation, truly become conscious children of God, children of the universe, incarnated blessings in this world. First fruit of many, says the Master, says Jesus. To follow him is to become another son, daughter of God. So, one has to have gone through a variety of graduating steps, certainly. One has to have achieved radical humility, liberation from ego in the extreme, removal of the abomination that causes desolation in the temple, as Jesus says, removal of all pride, all offense, capacity for self-transcendence, capacity for external considering, says the fourth way, which is a very clinical, dry way of speaking of deep compassion, divine compassion, agape love. One must be truly sensitive to the beautiful, the true, the good, as the ancient philosophers knew. One must live through, to speak again in esoteric terms, the King of Hearts, the intellectual part of the emotional center, the gateway to higher centers, having gone past all of the intellectual fancy footwork of the esoteric, to a purity of being, a simpleness of being, which reflects something of Christ's revelation, of surrender to the divine, of the pearl of great price, of the joy of the Master, of the glorious freedom of the children of God. One has to have died to the lower self. One has to have achieved fruits of the Spirit, as Paul describes them in Galatians. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, self-control. And then one becomes a mystic, a lover of God. And then you cannot fit in any box. It transcends all the rules, all the obligations. And you incarnate authentic being, higher consciousness of the greater picture of reality, and intimate, beautiful love of the other. Then you are a teacher.